and a very good evening and a very warm welcome to today's session. Namaskar, Sistrikal, Bonjour, Adab. I hope you guys are doing absolutely fine and amazingly well, bachcho. Let's get started with our new chapter of minerals and energy resources. Are you guys ready? आज हम करने वाले हैं minerals and their mode of occurrence. How do they occur in the environment from where we basically get them and procure them. So let's get started with me, Ankana, your expert for social sciences at Embibe. Guys, as you can see, I've done my studies in the field of humanities and come with an experience of more than 9 years now in the field of education. We have had the wonderful opportunity of interacting and teaching students both of CBSE and ICSE online and offline. I specialize in English as well as social science. Talking about the chapter, this entire chapter is divided in the following topics majorly. First one is minerals and their mode of occurrence. Second is mineral resources in India and third is energy resources in India. ये major division है हमारे chapter का. Today we are going to talk about the minerals and their mode of occurrence. The concepts that we are going to cover is going to be what are minerals, how do we study, the geographers and geologists, how do they study them, how do they classify. And then based on the mode of occurrence, we'll talk about their formation in the igneous rock, sedimentary rock, ocean water, residual mass, placer deposit. We'll also talk about how do we extract them and rat hole mining kya hoti hai. Have you heard about rat hole mining before? Hi Himanshi. Hi Pratiksha. It's a little tongue twister kind of a name. Hi Pratiksha, hi Chaitra, good evening and a very warm welcome. Hi Lakshya, how are you doing? Hi Ramesh, hi Vishnu Soni, good evening. Guys, please make sure that you let your friends know that ma'am is live and getting started with a new chapter so that they do not miss on the very beginning and introduction of this chapter, because as you can see, next we are going to talk about the mineral resources in India. What are minerals? How do we extract them? How do they occur? It's very important for us to learn that, which we'll be doing in today's session. So let's get started. All the buildings that we see around us today, how are they made up? They're mostly made up of the concrete, the cement and the bricks, the solid material, right? Did you know that the concrete is in fact a mixture of various elements like sand, water, cement, gravel, which solidified into rock-like material? It's not really a rock, right? It's something that solidifies into so strong structure. It's a mixture which is very liquidy in the beginning and then it turns into this rock-like thing, right? Himanshi, welcome to your session, first session, bachche. Hi Danish Ansari, good evening. The natural rocks are also formed similarly and are composed of minerals which are embedded within them. So it's a very good analogy, you see. When you break a building wall, you'll find multiple things coming out of it. You'll see something like of a sand structure. ठीक है, sand की composition का कुछ आपको मिलेगा. You'll find like the iron bars within it. Multiple layers would have revealing multiple things. It might reveal a brick. तो ऐसे अलग अलग चीज़ें आपको दिखाई देती हैं, मिलती हैं, ठीक है. Similarly, the natural rocks that are formed, it was not always that solid rock stone existing there. When you break it, you'll find multiple things available in its layers or maybe within it or present in it. Because these rocks are also formed over a period of time consisting a lot of materials like elements, like minerals. ठीक है? तो इनके बारे में ही जानेंगे हम आज. So let's get started. What do we mean by the very term mineral? So thoda sa chemistry will get involved over here, a little bit of blend of chemistry. Minerals are basically homogeneous. What do we mean by homogeneous? Homogeneous means of one kind. ठीक है? एक ही तरीके के natural occurring substances with a definable internal structure. For example, diamond has a certain structure, carbon has a certain structure, oxygen has a certain structure, and hydrogen has a certain structure. Some may have a structure like this. I think this is diamond structure, जहाँ पे हर जगह कार्बन होता है. ऐसे करके हर एक का structure chemistry में you will be reading is predefined, right? It's very well defined. Similar structure वाले जब एक ही substance, when all of them have the same structure, they come together and there's no mixture. It's homogeneous, which means only one kind exists in a place. That is known as minerals. इसको क्या कहते हैं हम? इसे minerals कहते हैं, ठीक है? It is found in various forms in nature. Somewhere it will be liquidy, somewhere it would be in gas, somewhere it would be in solid, somewhere buried within the ground, within the surface. Sometimes it is in the layers of the mountains, or it is mixed with the rocks. तो अलग अलग फॉर्म्स में वेरियस तरीके से हमें मिलते हैं, राइट फ्रॉम द हार्डेस्ट डायमंड टू द सॉफ्टेस्ट टैल्क, राइट, अ डायमंड विच यू कैन नॉट ब्रेक विथ अ हैमर, टू लेवल where you find something as soft as a powder, okay, mercury which is so liquidy. So all of these forms exists in different states, all of these minerals exist in different states and forms around us. Rocks are combinations of these substances, these homogeneous substances, means one of a kind substances which are known as minerals. So that is what you mean by minerals. ये होते हैं minerals, ठीक है, ऐसे दिखेंगे rocks हमें उसके minerals के. How do geographers, the people who study geography, how do they define them? They study minerals within Earth's crust to understand the landform and distribution of resources. How did we get to know where will you find what, where what deposits are available, what is its nature, how can we extract it? There are people, there are specialists who have done the study, who have studied the various areas, various landforms, okay? And based on their observation, based on their conclusion, on their findings, they have now stated, acha, this is, for example, Africa has a certain place where you'll find a lot of diamonds, right? There is a certain place in Chota Nagpur Plateau where you'll find a lot of mica. So that is how they have done the study based on the various areas and patterns, and they have told us kahan pe kya minerals milenge. They give us the detailed account of the minerals available, quantity, quality, availability, accessibility. Geologists, however, focus on the formation, age and composition. So you understand the difference between them? Geographers are the people who are studying the minerals wherever they are present. Okay? Which means they are mostly focusing on the present availability. ये किस पे फोकस कर रहे हैं? प्रेजेंट में कहाँ कहाँ अवेलेबल है, क्या है, कैसा है. Whereas the geologists, they focus on the history which led to the present. How did we reach the present? What were the factors responsible? When was it formed? What resulted in this? Was there a natural reason? How can we create it again? How will it get created in the future? So they ask the question of how was it formed? ठीक है? And they more focus on what and where. कहाँ है और क्या है? So this is the difference between a geologist and a geographer. Okay? And they also focus, of course, on the composition. Classification of general purposes is done on commercial utility and general categorization. So how do we classify them? How do we put them in different categories? We of course see what is important for us from a business point of perspective, from a manufacturing point of perspective. किन मिनरल्स से हम, जैसे आयन हो गया या मेरा बॉक्साइट है जो मुझे एल्युमिनियम देगा, ये मेरे लिए मैन्युफैक्चरिंग के पर्पस से बहुत इम्पॉर्टेंट है. तो कुछ क्लासिफिकेशन हम मैन्युफैक्चरिंग के पर्पस से करते हैं, ठीक है. एट द सेम टाइम फ्यू आर कैटेगराइज्ड ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ अकरेंस, कहाँ कहाँ पे अकर किया है, ठीक है, क्या कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स है, क्या फीचर्स है. ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ दैट यू कैटेगराइज द रेस्ट. So that is how the classification, the segregation of minerals are done. ठीक है? So let's quickly answer this question. A dash studies the formation of minerals, their age and physical and chemical composition. Who does this? A geologist does this or a geographer does this? Raj Sharma, hi, good evening, welcome. Formation of minerals, कितने पुराने हैं, कैसे form हुए हैं, क्या उसके पीछे का रीजन रहा है. द हाउ ऑफ द मिनरल्स, हु स्टडीज दिस? द जियोलॉजिस्ट स्टडीज दिस और द जियोग्राफर स्टडीज दिस? Okay. And we have Amartya, Charita and Tanmay who have answered absolutely correct in perfect timing. Hi, are we single? Singhai hai, Singhal hai. I'm not sure if I read your surname correct. Vasundhara and Pratiksha have also answered absolutely correct and in fact very fast. Hi Sneha, good job. Dhanush has also taken an attempt. Himanshi and Yavi Singhal hai. Correct. Okay. So waiting for you guys to answer. I think you're not able to answer, is it? Amartya, I think it's the other way. Stock is a subset of reserves. ठीक है, और वो रिसोर्सेज इन डेवलपमेंट में मैंने पढ़ाया है, बट टू जस्ट लेट यू नो इट इज़ अ सबसेट बिकॉज हैव यू डन द मैथ्स का सबसेट वाला थ्योरी? व्हाट इज सबसेट? देयर इज अ बिगर सर्कल with a certain feature and there's some another feature that you want to qualify under it, so it also falls under the same set, it becomes a subset. So stock kya hai? Stock is basically resources which we cannot access because we either don't have the knowledge or the technology to access it, but we know it exists but we don't know how to access it. So in a way it's getting reserved. We are hoping that we will one day have the knowledge or the technology to be able to access it. So in a way it is a reserve only. That is how it becomes a subset of the reserves. ठीक है अमर्त्य? चलिए जी, तो करेक्ट आंसर देख लेते हैं. जियोलॉजिस्ट्स करते हैं ये स्टडी. जियोग्राफर्स बेसिकली स्टडी वेयर इट इज प्रेजेंट, व्हाट इज द अमाउंट, ठीक है, द फॉर्मेशन एटसेट्रा. ना क्लासिफिकेशन जब हम करते हैं बच्चे मिनरल्स की, वन इज मेटेलिक, द मेटल काइंड ऑफ मिनरल्स, द अदर इज नॉन मेटेलिक. ठीक है, मेटेलिक क्या हो गया? हार्ड सॉलिड मेटल्स which has certain features of metals which we have done in chemistry. Ductility, malleability, malleable होगा, ductile होगा, structure होगा, can be beaten into wire, changed into a wire, will hold a certain shape. So वैसे we have certain metallic minerals and the ones which do not have these characteristics as read in chemistry will be non-metallic minerals. And then you have energy minerals which are minerals which provide us energy, heat, etc. ठीक है? Amartya, but you got the point, right? Reserve and stock, why do they fall under the same graph? Because both of this is not being utilized now. It is being stored for the future. Do you understand? ठीक है, आप इसको क्या कर रहे हैं? फ्यूचर के लिए बचा कर रख रहे हैं. क्यों बचा कर रख रहे हैं? फॉर आवर अदर पीपल्स यूज. Reserves, we know how to use it, but we are putting it aside to keep it useful for our future generation. Stock we cannot use because we don't have the knowledge only how to use, we don't know. ठीक है, तो वो भी क्या हो रहा है? वो अपने आप रिजर्व हो जा रहा है. तो ये दोनों सेम जगह फॉल करेंगे. ठीक है अमर्त्य? Now metallic minerals are, guys, ferrous. Ferrous is basically any form in which it contains iron, iron related things. ठीक है, तो containing iron will be of ferrous like iron ore, manganese, nickel, cobalt. Then you have non-ferrous metals. Metal है but does not contain iron. Aluminium हो सकता है, copper हो सकता है, lead हो सकता है, tin हो सकता है, bauxite from where we get the aluminium. These are non-ferrous metals. ठीक है? Then you have precious metals. Gold, silver, platinum. These are also metals. They do not contain iron but are costlier because of their, because of their, what do you say? Because of their properties. Gold is expensive, silver is expensive, it's very solid, doesn't, oxidizes just like that. Silver does, but doesn't basically, आपका corrode नहीं होता है. For all of these reasons, they are precious. So metals में we have three kinds. Ones which has iron, involved in one way or the other. Other one is without any iron. Third one is precious metals. Then you have non-metallic minerals like the mica, salt, potash, sulfur, granite, which is not metallic. And then we have energy minerals, coal, petroleum, natural gas, जो हमें energy देती है. ठीक है? Example of stock is water. We have so much of water on the earth's surface, right, Charita? And all of that water can be, and all of that is not fresh water, it's saline water which we are not using otherwise. It is made up of, what is water made up of? H2O, two molecules of hydrogen, one molecule of oxygen. If we break it down, we can get so much of oxygen, we can get so much of hydrogen that we can use otherwise. But we do not have the technology as of yet to know how can we break that all water down into a gas of hydrogen and oxygen. So it just remains as a stock. Eventually we will be able to develop a technology, right? Ramesh, I hope, I'm not sure. Where is it though? I'm not very sure where it is. Hi Shakti Tiwari, good evening, welcome to the session. तो ये हमारे minerals हो गए. Now we are going to understand occurrence of minerals. Where do they occur? कहाँ पे पैदा होते हैं? कहाँ happen होते हैं? Where do they take birth? How are they born? How they come into existence? How do they become something like this? So minerals are usually found in ores. What do you mean by ore? Ore का मतलब क्या होता है? Ore basically is used to describe an accumulation of any mineral mixed with other elements. The storehouse of minerals. ठीक है? Amartya, I think with all of that water that's not working, that's why probably people have not really used electrolysis. ठीक है? तो अभी इतने सारे पानी को एक यूजफुल तरीके से ऑक्सीजन और हाइड्रोजन प्राप्त कर सके वो मेथड हमने नहीं निकाला है. ठीक है? तो और क्या हो गया? It's like a storehouse of all the minerals. Like you enter that space and you'll find so much of it present in huge amount, right? So that is an ore. So minerals are usually found in ores. It's not like you'll find a little in one place, a little more in another place. No, there's a proper storage, maybe a rock, maybe within the surface, an entire area below a village that is there. तो ऐसा करके कहीं पे भी you can find the storehouse, this accumulation, this whole collection of a particular mineral. And this collection, this accumulation, this storehouse is what is known as ores. And minerals always happens and occurs in ores. आपको हमेशा ores में minerals जो है वो मिलेंगे. ठीक है? ठीक है? Now formation of minerals in igneous rocks. Now, because we are talking about formations, formation has happened in multiple ways, multiple तरीके से हुए हैं, अलग-अलग तरीके से हुए over a period of time. So, how, where and when it happened, that is what we are going to understand with occurrence. सबसे पहले आता है igneous rocks. What do you mean by igneous rocks, you guys? What do you mean by igneous rocks? Who will tell me? Igneous rocks क्या होते हैं? Anyone? What do we mean by igneous rocks? As you can see, this is an example of igneous rock as well. But what is meant by it? We have read about various types of rocks, right? You have read about sedimentary, you have read about metamorphic, you have read about igneous. What is igneous rock? The oldest rock. Okay, it can be the oldest, but what is it? How is it formed? How are the igneous rocks formed? Anyone, any idea? Amartya, do you want to take an attempt? Sneha? Formed by volcanic eruptions. Very nice. तो बच्चे तीन तरह के rocks होते हैं. The very first one being igneous rocks. Igneous rocks are basically when a volcanic eruption happens, all the hot lava in the liquidy form comes out from the earth surface. अर्थ से बाहर निकलता है. ठीक है हिमांशु, यू लर्न अबाउट इट टुडे, नो वरीज. ठीक है, अर्थ से वो पूरा लावा बाहर निकलता है. बट एट वन पॉइंट इनसाइड इट वाज वेरी वेरी हॉट एंड the temperature was very high. That is why it was in the molten form. Once it comes out on the earth's surface, it starts cooling down. When it cools down, it changes into a hard solid rock. एक बड़ा बहुत मोटा जो है आपका पत्थर बन जाता है. ठीक है, बहुत ही हार्ड सा सॉलिड सा पत्थर बन जाता है. That rock is referred to as an igneous rock. So igneous rocks one time would have been a molten lava liquid. Volcanic eruption happened, or maybe a crack developed somewhere. From there, the molten lava from the earth's core came out, that solidified and changed into a rock. That is what igneous rocks are. Now, bache, now that it has come from inside, you just think about it. Something which was in a particular shape and got formed like that will not have a lot of gaps and very uneven in form. But a liquid which was flowing, when that solidifies, it will take a shape of something like this, very uneven, broken in places. Some places you will find gaps and some places you will find pockets. That is how an igneous rocks will look like. It will not be very, very evenly surfaced. The surface of the rock will be very up and down, and some places big holes, some places very distressed. That is how an igneous rock will look like. Now we also know that there are like a lot of minerals within the core. So when the molten lava came out, it came out with all those minerals. It brought a lot of things from inside and then it solidified it. When you break such rocks, it is a high possibility that one place or the other you'll keep finding these minerals and energy resources. Okay? So it occurs in cracks, in the crevices, the faults, the joints. There might be a crack. In that crack, it might be present. It may be present in this gap that you see. Maybe two different rocks are getting joint, where it has gotten joint. When you separate them, in that joint you will find it. तो अलग अलग जगह पे मिनरल्स आपको यहाँ पे मिल सकते हैं. You can find it in various places of these rocks. So wherever in these rocks, it is occurring in small amount, in small spaces. You call it veins. But if it is occurring in big amounts, large occurrences, then you refer to it as lodes. Okay? So these formations happen when we know minerals in liquid, molten or gaseous state are pushed upward through opening from the earth's surface. तो ये कब होगा? जब अंदर धरती के surface से, from the earth's surface, it's pushed out in whatever state, liquid, gas or solid, doesn't matter. As they start moving up, they cool down, become solid. Valuable metallic minerals like the tin, copper, zinc, lead, they are often extracted from these veins and lodes. तो ये अक्सर हमको in igneous rocks के अंदर कहीं ना कहीं किसी क्रैक में, किसी सर्विक्स, आपके क्रेविसेस में, फॉल्ट में, ठीक है, कहीं ना कहीं इन सारे जगह पे हमें मिल जाते हैं. ठीक है. तो द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज, what are the small cracks in igneous and metamorphic rocks referred to? Wherein small cracks in small amount you find the minerals, what is it referred to as? Lodes, veins, ores or limes? हाय राजपाल. बच्चे हिंदी भी तो बोल रही हूँ, पूरा हिंदी में नहीं बोलूँगी, कुछ बच्चों को सिर्फ इंग्लिश समझ आती है तो इंग्लिश भी बोलूँगी. हाय रोशन, हाय अर्चित, शक्ति. मैग्नेट बनाने के लिए आयन का इस्तेमाल करते हैं. What are the small cracks in igneous and metamorphic rocks known as? चारिता ने बिल्कुल सही जवाब परफेक्ट टाइमिंग में दे दिया है, विच इज वंडरफुल. अनुष्का, वसुंधरा, प्रतीक्षा हैव आल्सो आंसर्ड करेक्टली. वेरी करेक्ट, वेरी फास्ट इन फैक्ट. Dhanush, Himanshi have taken perfect timing. Charita also correct answer. Yavi has also answered correctly. Sneha has also answered correctly. Wonderful. Tanmay and Amartya have taken an attempt. Student, I'm waiting for you to answer. Bache, veins and lodes are the two places. Veins are the small ones. Lodes are the large ones. ठीक है अमरत्या, बड़े वाले को हम lodes कहेंगे, छोटे वाले को हम veins कहते हैं. Then talking about sedimentary rocks. What do you mean by sedimentary rocks? अब ये sedimentary rocks क्या होते हैं? क्या हो सकता है ये sedimentation का मतलब क्या है? Sedimentation we have read in chemistry also. Danish, do you remember? Have you read sedimentation in chemistry? Volcano rock, also known as volcanic rocks, are formed through the solidification of magma or lava, which has been expelled during the volcanic eruption. This can be classified into many types, like igneous rocks. Correct, Shakti. Very nice. कहाँ से देख, कहीं आपने से बताया, देख के बताया है कहीं से? अच्छा जी, चलो अब sedimentation की बात करते हैं. What do you mean by sedimentation? You all of us have done this experiment where we were asked that take a dirty water, ठीक है, mix a lot of soil in it and then let it sit. Okay, put the beaker down or a glass down and let it sit. What will you observe? The biggest particle will settle down first, then the smaller particle, and then probably a clear water or less dirty water will be left on the top. So we see different layers settling down one on the other. This process is known as sedimentation. ठीक है, तो ये क्या, इस process को क्या बोलते हैं हम? Sedimentation बोलते हैं. तो sedimentation क्या होता है बच्चे? Sedimentation is basically formation in layers. ठीक है, layer on layer, layer on layer. For example, Himalayas. So sedimentation क्या हो जाता है? Sedimentary rocks are basically rocks which have been formed one by one, layer on layer. So one layer may reveal something, the other layer may reveal something completely different. Maybe one layer was formed just 1000 years ago, but the other layer was formed 5000 years ago. तो लेयर पे लेयर जमा हो करके जो रॉक बनता है उसे सेडिमेंटरी रॉक कहते हैं. व्हेन यू कट इट यू विल फाइंड वेरियस लेयर्स इन इट एंड ईच ऑफ दीज लेयर माइट कंटेन फॉसिल्स और फ्यूल्स और मिनरल्स प्रेजेंट विद इन इट. ओके, so it occurs in the beds or layers due to deposition, accumulation and concentration in horizontal strata. Horizontal strata matlab this is one strata, for example this is one layer. ठीक है, I'll just 1 second. Let's say this is one layer. Another layer will look like this on top of it. When you cut it and you look it from the side, this is how it will appear. It will have various layers to it, you guys. This is how sedimentary rock will look to you. It will have various layers, 1 layer, 2 layer, 3 layer, 4 layer. Of course, it's not just limited to this. It may have repetition of layers. Various layers will be there. So over a period of time, things would keep getting deposited. First, this would have gotten deposited. Then this would have gotten deposited. Then this would have gotten deposited. एक एक करके सब कुछ डिपॉजिट होता गया और क्या बना दिया, हमारे लिए सेडिमेंटरी रॉक्स बन जाते हैं. तो जब आप उनको साइड से देखते हो आपको ऐसे अलग अलग लेयर्स दिखेंगे. नॉर्मली ये जो है हमारा क्या होता है, नॉर्मली दिस इज बेसिकली हैपनिंग अंडर द सी बेड. वाई सी बेड वी आर सेइंग? हाउ वर हिमालयाज फॉर्म्ड? फॉर एग्जाम्पल हिमालयाज के साथ क्या हुआ था, हिमालयाज वो बेसिकली पार्ट ऑफ द टेथिस सी अर्लियर. पहले एक सी हुआ करती थी, उसका जो सी बेड था दैट इज व्हाट हैज चेंज्ड इनटू द हिमालयाज. सो हाउ डू सी बेड अकर? It has a layer, then something else will come on top of it. So layer on layer it was getting formed and then it just rose into a mountain. That is how a sedimentary rock mountain was formed called Himalayas. So it is a sedimentary rock. It has multiple layers to it. ठीक है? Mica is a mineral. है ना वसुंधरा? Mica is a mineral. It is not a rock per se. So it occurs in rocks. It can occur in rock, but it's not the same as that. ठीक है? Some formed through prolonged heat and pressure, coal, certain forms of iron ore. Okay, so what happened? Maybe let's say something deposited here. Okay, a lot of pressure was there, heat ka pressure, weather change pressure. So it changed its form and changed into petroleum, for example. Okay, Himanshi, that's what I'm telling you. It's just simple deposition. Himanshi, have you done that experimentation of sedimentation? ठीक है, आपके पानी में बहुत सारे पार्टिकल्स सस्पेंडेड होते हैं, लॉट ऑफ पार्टिकल्स आर सस्पेंडेड एंड वन बाय वन ओवर अ पीरियड ऑफ टाइम इट विल स्टार्ट डिपॉजिटिंग इनटू लेयर्स. ठीक है, जो जब सेटल डाउन होगा एक लेयर बना देगा. तो सी का क्या होता है बच्चे, सी ओशंस दे गो थ्रू, दे हैव सीन अ लॉट ऑफ ज्योग्राफिकल एराज पासिंग. So multiple things have fallen into the sea, multiple dead animals, particles, broken broken stones, and that has kept on forming various layers in the sea or on the top of the ground. That is how it is forming. Simple as that. ठीक है, तो ऐसे करके वो जब प्रेशर से, हीट से, विंड से, वाटर से solidifies. That is how the sedimentary rocks are formed. ठीक है, by decomposition could also be a reason. So others formed by evaporation, especially in arid regions like gypsum, potash, salt, sodium salt. So a lot of heat changed the dead animals and plants into fossil fuels. So that is how you find it in the rocks, the petroleum. Some, because of the evaporation, change into salt like gypsum, like sodium salt. तो ये सब हमें evaporation की वजह से मिलता है, ये हमें extra heat और pressure की वजह से मिलता है in the sedimentary rocks. Okay, if you talk about ocean water, so vast quantities in ocean water, but generally too widely diffused for economic significance. Common salt, magnesium, bromine, ये सब कुछ ऐसी चीज़ें जो हमें ocean water से मिलती हैं. So ocean water has a lot of these contents, but for economic reasons, which means Getting it from the water is not very beneficial. It takes a lot of money, or it disturbs the life in there. For all of these reasons, we do not always get a lot of these minerals from the water because it's not as beneficial. Why do we need these minerals? We need these minerals for various manufacturing purposes, but ultimately to make money. If the process of obtaining these minerals is more expensive than what you will be able to earn from it, it doesn't make sense to obtain it. Something like that happens from the ocean. अगर तुम्हारा खर्चा उस चीज़ को लेने में ही ज़्यादा हो जा रहा है, उस अमाउंट से बहुत ज़्यादा जो तुम उससे कमा पाओगे, तो उसको लेने में तो कोई फ़ायदा नहीं, अल्टीमेटली आप लॉस में जाओगे. तो पानी से निकालने में मिनरल्स हमारे साथ यही प्रॉब्लम होती है. बहुत ज़्यादा वास्ट है, बहुत बड़े एरिया में है, बहुत ज़्यादा अमाउंट में भी प्रेजेंट हो सकता है, बट हमें उसे निकालना मुश्किल पड़ता है, प्लस वहाँ की जो लाइफ है वो डिस्टर्ब हो जाती है. फॉर ऑल ऑफ दीज रीजन्स हम वाटर से बहुत ज़्यादा जल्दी ऑब्टेन नहीं करते. What kind of minerals do we find in water? We find a lot of magnesium, manganese for that matter, common salt, bromine, जो easily आराम से निकल सकता है from water. We do take that out and obtain it from water. ठीक है? हाँ जी, ओम प्रकाश, क्या दुख हो गया है आपके जीवन में? मैं बिल्कुल सुन रही हूँ आपकी बात. Tell me what you want me to listen to. ओशन बेड्स रिच इन मैगनीज नोड्यूल्स. ओशन बेड्स में मैगनीज नोड्यूल्स बहुत मिलते हैं. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, इंडियन ओशन के अराउंड यू विल फाइंड अ लॉट ऑफ मैगनीज नोड्यूल्स. वी डू ऑब्टेन अ लॉट ऑफ मैगनीज फ्रॉम देयर. ठीक है. नाउ फॉर्मेशन ऑफ मिनरल्स इन रेसिडुअल मास. व्हाट डू यू मीन बाय रेसिडुअल मास? So it involves the decomposition of surface of rocks, leaving a residual mass of weathered material containing ores. Guys, even if the rocks are formed over a period of time, like in today's date, let's say you go somewhere and there is a proper solid mountain or a rock, but with the heat, that's how soil formation may, have you read that rocks eventually break because of the water, change in temperature, a lot of pressure? Yes or no? Soil formation में क्या आपने पढ़ा है कि rocks eventually break into smaller pebbles, and then because of the friction it changes into dust, and that is how the soil is formed. Have you heard about the breaking of the rocks? पहाड़ों के पत्थरों के टूटने के बारे में पढ़ा है कि बहुत बारिश से एकदम से गर्मी होती है, फिर ठंडी होती है, करते करते चाहे कोई भी पत्थर हो, कोई भी पहाड़ हो, वो धीरे धीरे टूटता है और वैसे ही मिट्टी बनती है. पढ़ा है हमने. दैट इज व्हाट? दैट इज बेसिकली विदरिंग ऑफ रॉक्स. रॉक क्या हो रहा है? वेदर ऑफ हो रहा है. ठीक है अर्चित, समझ आया? ठीक है. रॉक क्या हो रहा है? टुकड़ों में टूट रहा है, वेदर हो रहा है. सो डिकम्पोज हो जा रहा है, यानी कि द रॉक का surface, the surface of the rock is getting decomposed. It is breaking down. When it breaks down, what it was containing inside, the ore that it was containing inside, the storehouse of mineral that it was containing inside, ठीक है, वो सब open हो जाता है. It opens out and leaves the ore for people to take away. तो हमारा बॉक्साइट ना ऐसे ही ऑब्जर्व, ऐसे ही मिलता है हमें. दिस इज रेसिडुअल मास. रेसिड्यू बेसिकली मीन्स लेफ्ट ओवर. रेसिड्यू का मतलब क्या होता है? लेफ्ट ओवर. व्हाट इज लेफ्ट बिहाइंड? सो व्हेन द रॉक ब्रेक्स, it weathers off, it basically decomposes, it opens the ore in the residue matter, what is left behind, and from there also a lot of time ores are obtained. This is known as your residual ore. ठीक है. So what happens to minerals as they rise towards the earth's surface? They erode away, they melt completely, they cool and solidify, or they turn into gas. What happens to minerals as they rise towards the earth's surface? Earth के surface पे जब mineral rise करता है तो क्या होता है उस mineral को? वो पूरा पूरा erode हो जाता है, पूरा पूरा melt हो जाता है, cool हो करके solid बन जाता है, या gas में turn कर जाता है. अनुराग, हाय, गुड इवनिंग. साक्षी, दानिश, जवाब दे दिया. अनुराग ने भी जवाब दिया है. ओके, एनीवन एल्स? Say, I'm really glad to hear that. I'm glad the questions helped you. Guys, read the question carefully. From what happens to minerals as they rise towards the earth's surface? यानी कि core से आ रहा है. It is coming from the core to the earth's surface. What will happen to such a mineral? So we have Amartya student, Vasundhara, Charita and Pratiksha have answered absolutely correct in perfect timing. Anushka, Dhanush, Himanshi, Tanmay seem to knew the answer, so they were very quick with it. And Yahvi and Sneha have also answered. Alisha has also answered in perfect timing. Good job. Infinix has taken an attempt. It will basically cool and solidify, बच्चे. What comes from within? Right? Shakti C होगा. ठीक है? What comes from within? The molten lava comes from within. When it comes to the earth's surface, what will happen? It will cool down, it will change into a solid and form an igneous rock and also full of the ore. Okay? Now, formation of minerals in placer deposits. So, alluvial deposits in the sand of valley floors and the base of hills, these contain minerals not corroded by water. Important minerals found in placer deposits, gold, silver, tin, platinum. इसको समझते हैं. Let's understand this. Have you seen Himalayas? I mean, not in person, but where it is. We know where Himalayas are. तो ये Himalayas है. Himalayas क्या है? Sedimentary rocks हैं. But also, they were at one point were a seabed, which means this entire mountain is very rich in minerals. Correct? It is very rich in minerals. So, either you can obtain it from these sedimentary rocks by the process of using of technology, or the nature will do it for you. But the question is, how is the nature going to do it for us? That is what we are talking about, the placer deposits. Placer deposits, nature हमारा help कर रहा है आपको वो deposit देने में. कैसे nature help कर रहा है? See, very simple. When we have read about the formation of alluvial soil, what have we read? These are basically eroded soil that is being taken from the surface of Himalayas by the rivers flowing through the Himalayas. Himalayas से बहुत सारे rivers निकलते हैं. There are a lot of rivers which basically come out of the Himalayas, different parts of Himalayas. At this inclination, their speed is very high. है ना? The speed is high and the depth is shallow. Sorry, the depth is also there. My bad. Depth is also kind of high and they are very narrow, which means they flow in very narrow channels with a very high speed. As a result of this, what do? They cut through the soil. तो ये जो पहाड़ है बच्चे ऐसा है कि whenever you add speed into something, ठीक है, water ही सही, when water is flowing at a slow speed, it will not erode the soil, it will not make the soil go along with it because the speed is slow, it will not carry a lot of weight. But over here, because of the steepness, because of the inclination, the speed of these rivers flowing is very high. So the pressure they are putting is very high, right Amartya? They have a lot of force in them. So they do not spread, they are very narrow and they keep on cutting channels through the mountains. पहाड़ों से अपना channel बनाते हुए मिट्टी को काटते हुए निकल जाते हैं. What happens to all of that soil that they cut? वो पूरी मिट्टी जो काटी कहाँ गई? It will flow along with it. ये पूरा यहाँ से बहकर कहाँ जाएगा? It will come and deposit on the plain surface at the foothill. जहाँ पहाड़ खत्म हो रहा है वहां पे आके फुट हिल्स के पास कलेक्ट हो जाएगा. Now all this soil we know was very rich in minerals and this soil has got eroded from these rivers and have got deposited on these places. So this soil which was rich in mineral is now present over here also and still has the minerals. अभी भी उसमें minerals है. ये पूरी मिट्टी जो पहाड़ से कट के यहाँ जमा होती है उसमें मिनरल्स आपको मिल जाते हैं जैसे कि गोल्ड, सिल्वर, टिन, प्लैटिनम. And these kind of deposits are known as placer deposits. So you can get your minerals from these placer deposits also. तो रिवर्स ने ये कमाल किया होता है. How do we extract minerals? Now we know where can you find it. You can find it in igneous rock, you can find it in sedimentary rock, you can find it in the residuals of the rocks, you can find it in ocean, you can find it in placer deposits. How do we extract it? हम उसको पाएंगे कैसे? How can we use it? How can we make it usable for our purpose? How do we take it from there? ठीक है? Minerals can be extracted from earth through economically viable methods. These methods consists of mainly three processes: mining, drilling and quarrying. तो ये तीन process है, these are the three processes from which, from the earth surface or the water surface, we basically obtain these minerals that is present there in the ores. Mining is the process of extraction of mineral ore from the earth surface, majorly by process of digging. So you keep digging, you keep finding the coal, you keep finding the rocks which has bauxite, you keep finding the rocks which has iron. ये deposits आपको मिलते जाएंगे. You keep on digging and you keep obtaining it. Drilling is the process in which the ground is penetrated with the help of a drill machine and the rocks and the minerals are extracted from beneath the earth's surface. So you don't dig a big hole, but rather you drill a one portion and whatever was under it, you drag it out. उसको आप निकाल लेते हो. ये होता है drilling process. Then you have quarrying, where you remove the soil, sand, gravel, layers जो होते हैं अलग अलग, वो पूरा हटाते हैं and eventually rocks from a particular area or a region, and then using these rocks to extract minerals from them. तो आप पूरे के पूरे पत्थर को ही वहाँ से निकाल लेते हो, उसको तोड़ तोड़ करके उससे हिस्से नहीं निकालते हो, पूरे पत्थर से आप extract कर लेते हो. That is quarrying. So lot of times you will see quarries left where you will find big stones available. बड़े बड़े ना पत्थर आपको दिखेंगे हर तरफ. वो quarry abandoned होती है, it's not any more useful, and sometimes water gets collected in it, it becomes very scenic, but it's a very bad exploitation of the earth's surface. वैसे एक method है rat hole mining. So it is very very common in tribal areas of northeastern India. Northeastern India में ये आपको बहुत ज़्यादा मिलेगा, ठीक है? Hi Zahra, how are you? Hi Ashif, thank you, good evening. ठीक है? Absolutely, Shakti Tiwari, rivers do create expensive plain surfaces. Experiment wala, hi, good evening. So rat hole mining is very common. It's a in the tribal areas of northeastern places, right? Yes, Vasundhara, that's definitely not good. Minerals in these areas are owned by individuals and communities, unlike nationalized minerals in India. So what is the difference over here? Bache, normally in the other areas of your in the other areas of the nation, what happens is that in other areas of nation, the land belongs to the government, or where you know that those land, that soil is very abundant in a particular mineral, is an ore, it belongs to the government. ठीक है, सरकार ले लेती है. तो क्या होता है, जहाँ पे हमें पता है मिनरल्स बहुत है, स्टडी किया हुआ है हमने सॉइल का, वो सरकारी ज़मीन हो जाती है, सरकार की हो जाती है. देन द गवर्नमेंट विल बेसिकली एक्सेस इट to obtain the minerals or give it to a private company and take money from them in return of obtaining the minerals from them. But northeast mein, as you guys, if you remember, we have read about various articles like article 370, right? Special status given to few states, because northeastern states have, some states have special status. That land is not really taken under a government land. जो उनकी ज़मीनें हैं, चाहे वहाँ minerals हो या ना हो, it cannot be claimed as a government land. It belongs to individual communities, individual people, families. But minerals hai, so they would want to access those minerals. So this method is what they use. Jaise Meghalaya has a lot of coal, iron ore, limestone, dolomite deposits. If you remember in resources and development, we in fact studied, physical features of India. Last year you would have studied that a broken portion of the plateau goes and get attached to Meghalaya. So naturally वहाँ पे you will find a lot of ore. Plateaus में बहुत सारे ores होते हैं. Coal mining specifically in Jovai and Chirapunji is conducted through rat hole mining. ठीक है? इसमें क्या होता है? Family members create long narrow tunnels for extraction. So entire thing is not dug up or it is not completely broken. एक छोटा सा ऐसा hole बना दिया जाएगा, very very deep inside. Good enough for one person to get in. That is why we are saying it a rat hole, because it will look like a hole of a rat. How rats create hole in the soil, small hole. It will obviously be not that small, but just big enough for a one person to go in. So that is what they will do. That person will go in and will find. However, National Green Tribunal, the NGT, declared rat hole mining illegal. Eventually, उसे illegal बता दिया गया था. It recommends an immediate halt to these activities because environment is getting damaged. See, bache, wherever the other practices of mining, quarrying, all of that things are being done, the problem over there is at least there's some regulation. Government is monitoring. The problem over here is that there was no monitoring, no account, and people were kept continuously, doing it, so damaging the environment. So, however, it doesn't matter what the rules and the regulations are. It still continues in some areas because people are dependent on these minerals. They need to get it. ठीक है, nationalized minerals, nationalized जो भी होता है अमर्त्य, whatever is nationalized, it means it belongs to the government. The ownership is of the government. ठीक है, तो हालांकि अब government has asked not to do this, but people still pretty much continue doing it. So with this, we are done. Let's quickly summarize. Minerals, they occur naturally, with diverse properties, studied for formation by geologists, and areas where they are present by the geographers. Ores में present होते हैं, it's a mix of minerals and other elements. The viability is based on concentration of extraction. Occurrence में igneous rocks में veins and lodes में, sedimentary rocks में layers because of deposition one by one, year on year. Then we also have residual masses, placer deposits and ocean waters where these are present. Apart from that, what we have also understood is that extraction methods होते हैं minerals को ore से निकालने के. Mining, drilling, quarrying and rat hole mining is another method which has been banned by the NGT, but is practiced in northeastern states of the tribals where there is ownership of individual, not the government, on the land and minerals. Mineral ores are found almost everywhere, but their occurrence depends on how they accumulate in nature, how they deposit in nature. Therefore, different ores are composed of different minerals based on their occurrence accumulation. Some might contain ores of iron while some might not. In the next session, we'll talk more about this in more detail. So guys, please remember, open your Embibe app or website, whatever you use. Make sure to set the goal right and go under the home and in the Embibe Life classes then. यहाँ पे आप देख सकते हो minerals and their mode of occurrence is what we are doing right now. ऐसे जो भी सेशन आए उसके लिए आपको रजिस्टर कर देना है, ठीक है. Just click on register. This was the session actually that's happening right now. These are the sessions that are upcoming. So tomorrow we are doing mineral resources in India. What are the various resources? Where is it found? ठीक है. Vivek, is it clear? Okay. So, mineral resources in India is happening tomorrow at 8 PM. Just go ahead, make sure that you registered. Other sessions, guys, is also listed for all the teachers that's going to be upcoming in the next week. For example, conventional sources of energy is the next session that will be doing after mineral resources in India. तो इन सारे सेशंस के लिए आपको सिर्फ और सिर्फ अपने आप को रजिस्टर कर लेना है. एंड डू नॉट फॉरगेट टू चेक आउट द Embibe Lens ऐप, ठीक है. Amartya, not separately because I'm parallelly resolving your doubts over here. Guys, I'm moving away from the screen. This is your QR code and the link. Amartya, I'll answer your question in a moment. ठीक है, ये आपका QR code और link है जहाँ पे आप देख सकते हो. This is our channel for Telegram for 9th and 10th. Please make sure that you join this channel because a lot of important announcement updates happen over here. ठीक है. Okay. Now Amartya asked me, ma'am, what is quarrying? So बच्चे, drilling तो हमें समझ आ गया, is done with a machine. See, mining and quarrying are not very different. ठीक है? Mining में क्या होता है? You just dig very, very deep inside. So when you see mines will be like a few, maybe a kilometer or two below the surface of that of the earth that we usually stay in. बहुत 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 नीचे जाके एक बहुत बड़ा सा माइन जैसा बना होगा. इन मूवीज यू विल सी, यू कैन प्रोबेबली लुक अप फॉर पिक्चर्स. ओके, whereas quarry में क्या होता है? Quarries are not dug up so deep inside. There also digging happens, but only to a level where the stones start coming in. थोड़ा सा मिट्टी, soil, gravel ऊपर का layer हटा करके you get the stones, you remove the stones and obtain your minerals from there. Amartya, is it clear? But mines, when you see, mines will go very deep inside and is very huge. And the soil is completely taken out at a very, very intense level to a great depth. Quarry doesn't go that deep down. The method is same, digging up of the soil. But it only goes to the rocks and the minerals and that is removed. Okay? समझ आ गया? Perfect. So with this, thank you Zara. Thank you so much for being here. Shakti classes are absolutely free. So you can just come and join the session. You don't have to make any payment in order to do that. Okay? Ashif, you can feel free to leave the session. And okay, Rabindra, hi and bye. So on that note, I'll be winding up the session now. Thank you so much for being here. I'll see you guys in the next session. Thank you, Alisha. कल 8 बजे guys will talk about minerals in India. तो कल मिलते हैं. Till then, stay tuned. Students on YouTube, do not forget to like, share, subscribe and comment if you have any doubts or how did you like this session. And for the rest of you, make sure you are registered. ठीक है? हाँ, चरिता, it can be used with machine. आप JCB का इस्तेमाल कर सकते हो. आप जो है डायनामाइट से उसको एक्सप्लोड कर सकते हो. There are multiple ways. It depends what kind of soil you're trying to dig. If it is very, very hard rock, solid kind of thing, then you use the bombs. Otherwise, you just use machines to dig the soil. Okay? Okay, great. Thank you, Imanshi. Thank you, everyone. I'll see you tomorrow. So, till then, bye-bye. Have a great evening. Hasta la vista. Bye-bye. Ciao. Take good care of yourself and your loved ones. Stay tuned and keep imbibing.
Keep imbibing. We believe in you.